What's going on, guys? Dos Bros Reptiles here, and this is Marcus with a bearded dragon care video. Hunter is currently recording right now.
What's up, guys?
And yeah, so I guess let's get started. This is my bearded dragon rhino. He is about 2 months old, 2.5, around there. He is a leatherback bearded dragon, you can tell. One thing different about leatherbacks is their scales are much smaller, which makes their back feel much more smooth, hence the term leatherback. Alright, so now we'll be going off to their ideal setup. This isn't exactly perfect, I'll show the minor flaws, but this will be your general idea. So you want a couple basking spots. So I have the log in there, the tall branch to reach up to the light at top. You need two different types of light. You need the heat lamp, which this is a 75 watt, and you also need a UVB, which is in here. Usually you want the UVB to be a strip that goes all the way across your cage, but I currently don't have one. I just use the bulbs. This is why I have this larger dome to get it throughout the cage more. But you just want you want over the cold side over here, the water bowl in the back. I just leave a calcium. Usually they don't look out of it, but just in case you'd want to. Usually you want to have the basking spots in order for him to obviously bask, but also for their underbelly in order to digest food much easier. You usually want the hot side to be around 95 to 105 is what mine usually ranges around. Don't have the thermometer in there right now, it fell out. And then for the cold side, usually around 80 to 85. And you don't need, or you can use sand, yes. Do I recommend it? No. It can cause impaction, and two, it can get in their eyes and such. So I use Repticalcium. Usually you just don't want sand for these smaller bearded dragons. Usually when they're older it's not too bad. But I usually just stick with Repticalcium the whole time. And yeah, after this we will get on to diet.
Fucking shit.
Alright guys, now this will be revolving around their diet more besides this. This is just some Net Geo hand sanitizer. It's unscented. I usually use this if I don't wash my hands before handling him and also after.
By the way, guys, I'm going to add everything in the description below so you can look up and buy this stuff yourself if you are getting ready to have any reptile, really.
And okay, so here is what their main diet consists of, which is crickets. And all of the white stuff is calcium, as you can tell. Usually for crickets, what I like to do is I like to add these. They're like they're flunkers, like water crystals, basically. And I also have the flunkers diet, which helps with the gut loading to get nutrition from the crickets to your bearded dragon. If you don't have any of this, that's not really a problem. You can use carrots, potatoes, apples, and pretty much anything that's like a watery vegetable or fruit.
Good idea is also to put calcium on the vegetables.
Yes, that's a good idea. Besides crickets, you can use superworms, which are here. Not many. Quite a few are dead.
But you do want to feed them more crickets, but it's always good to give them mealworms every once in a while.
Yeah, these can be used as treats. You don't want to do it too often. Here is just something I have because I wanted to try. This is a hornworm. These guys are high in protein. I want to say around 56 to 60% protein, but they also very high in fat. So with saying that, you don't want to feed this to them too often, maybe one time every 5 to 6 weeks, if that.
And make sure to feed it to a juvenile or adult. Do not feed it to a baby.
Yes. And this is just some calcium, some Repticalcium, which includes vitamin D3. I know this isn't the best stuff, and I will be getting vitamin D3 by itself and different calcium powders. So this is vegetables. What I have in here, this is just some romaine lettuce, which this doesn't have much nutritional value. It's just more to be there. So you don't want to give this to them too often. This is mustard greens, which is perfectly fine for them. Carrots, which you'll want to chop up to make them smaller, and also broccoli. Broccoli I don't do too often, just every once in a while thing. You can also do obviously blueberries, strawberries, bananas. Fruits you don't want to do too much. More collard greens, mustard greens obviously. And yeah, I'm going to cut this up and I'm going to show you guys what it should look like after. Alright, right now I'm just chopping them up, and I wanted to add a little tip. Whenever your bearded dragons are younger, such as babies or juveniles, you want to mainly keep their diet around 70-30, with 70% being insects, 30% being vegetables. You want to try to get them to eat at a younger age so they get used to vegetables. But as they grow up, the diet can switch more to 40-60, with 40% being their insects and 60% being their vegetables. Alright guys, this is what it should look like when you're done. If you have a younger baby dragon, bearded dragon, gosh, you want to have this smaller. It's just he's older, and this isn't too much, but usually if he finishes it, I give him another one. And if you see the white in there, I mixed in the calcium, and I also put in a little water to make it and mix it up some, which makes it much easier. Alright guys, this is him eating some crickets. He hasn't eaten his salad yet, but he'll usually eat after. I just throw in the crickets with tongs. He'll usually eat as many as I put in there pretty much. I try to keep it around 12. Don't know what he's going for now. Might not be hungry. He sees it. Not too sure what he's doing.
I think he's a little jumpy from the screen.
Throw another one in here. Might just want to bask right now. So we'll give him a minute to eat, and we'll talk about more about baby dragons. What's up, guys? Dos Plus Recovile's back, and this will be like our personal opinions and tips for bearded dragons.
This is like a discussion topic, almost kind of like a live stream.
Almost, yes.
But it's not live stream.
Let's get to, I just have this. This is like some dry bearded dragon food. Do I use this? Very rarely, if not ever, if I don't have any crickets available. Does he eat it? He's tried it. Does he like it? I imagine not.
It's kind of just like an emergency purpose, you know. You only use it if you really have to.
Yes.
If he's hungry, he's going to eat it. So.
Right. We have this tropical mist spray. It says it helps with shedding, which I use this personally on both my leopard geckos and my bearded dragon.
It seems to work pretty well.
Disregarding the smell, it's good. Yeah, the smell is kind of weird. It
smells like Flintstones chalk vitamins.
Yes, that's actually what it does smell like.
Yeah. First topic is caring and handling our personal opinions, because some people might have their own.
Right.
I personally think when I had my leopard gecko, if y'all did not know, what was her name again? Hazel. She did die. I think she died because I fed her too big of animals. Superworms, and
like very, very large.
I do blame myself for that, and I do feel really guilty. I will never do that again. But handling and caring wise, I think
they're pretty durable.
Yeah, they're really good. You know, they're really good with multiple ages. Not really small kids, but
if where they can process to a point. So about like 8, 9 years old. Like I have my younger brother. He's 8 years old and he does fine with rhino.
And
you can't be scared.
Yeah, they can sense that. They can sense when you're scared and all that stuff, and they can get really jumpy. Caring wise, you want to handle them at least 1 to 2 times a day. So, for instance, if you're off to work or school and you come home, at least hold them after after you go eat or something like that, and then
talking to them helps as well. They tend to get used to your voice.
They know what you smell like. They know what you sound like. They're almost like dogs in a way. They're very similar to dogs. Marcus's might be a little jumpy because at times he's not always here. But he's getting better at that. He was really bad at first. Like, he'll tend to try to bite you and stuff. That's what you might expect if you don't pay attention to your gecko a whole bunch. So, Dragon. Crap. Sorry, guys. I only have a leopard gecko right now, and I'll be getting more leopard geckos in the future, so that's why I might say
stay tuned for care videos on that.
Yeah, I will be doing a care video. They might be all coming out around the same day.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't give them attention at least once, twice a day, they will tend to...
They're very active. Once you get them out, well, mine is anyways. He's very active.
Yeah. Best way...
He wants to jump a lot.
Best way to tame them is if you let them walk around your room or something.
Or if you're doing homework or just watching TV, just have them on you.
Yeah. And if yours is jumpy, if you do get yours jumpy, if you bought it from like a crappy breeder or something, you want to actually just hold him. Plain hold him. Do not let him go because, you'll have a crazy lizard running around your room.
Once he realizes you're not going to hurt him, or she, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Let's just go to pros and cons. Personal pros and cons.
Let's start off with, let's go with, you want to go with cons or pros? Because
we'll go with pros first.
Go with pros, yeah.
Pros. They're big, but they're not too big.
They're like if you like a big lizard, but you don't want something like a tegu, which is like the size of a
dog,
small
essentially.
Dog. They're perfect size. I like the way they look with their big, bulky size and all that.
They get about 2 feet, which is pretty big. But that's head to tail, with like a foot being tail.
Yeah.
So basically around 1.5 feet if you want to be real with it.
Yeah.
Pro from you?
Pro for me is that they're omnivores, so they have multiple ways of feeding. They're not really picky on what they eat. Depending on depending on what you actually feed them, they are not picky at all.
No. Another pro. They're just really cool to be with. Like, you can show them off to your friends, really cool. And it's something different. Not everybody has one. And you can say you have one. And they're not... You have to get people to realize they're not scary. Because whenever you first look at them, they're obviously not as babies. They're a little cute. But once they get into adulthood, they look kind of scary. Not gonna lie. But they're really sweet. And they're like a little puppy dog. Let's go to cons.
Oh, actually, I got one more pro.
One more pro.
They're very adaptive, which means is if you change up their cages, they actually really like that. They like new things and all that. They like, they're really interested in new things. Environment-wise, yeah, they're really good with changing their environment up.
Yeah.
Cons? I have a personal con. They have to be on a schedule. Yeah. They like a schedule.
You want to keep a schedule. It makes it a lot easier to care for. And they get on that schedule, and they just get used to it.
Yeah.
Con, they do take up quite a bit of space. Like, into adult, you're going to want to have a 40-gallon or a 55-gallon. Minimum, basically, because they need quite a bit of room.
And that's counting for one. If you had like 2 of them, you're looking at smallest 60 gallons.
A 75-gallon tank basically
would be perfect.
Another con.
They're
lighting. They do take
Yeah.
If you not so far as lighting, maybe energy. If you're energy sufficient, their lighting you're gonna have to have UVB for sure, and you're gonna have to have a basking bulb. I personally use a 75 watt. Used to have a 150. You don't need that unless it's like way high in the air. You don't need a 150. That's for sure. 75 works perfect for me.
People might ask, why do you need a UVB bulb?
Yeah.
Well, the UVA, which is the heat lamp, is used to heat the animals to warm their body up. So, because lizards, if you don't know reptiles, in cooler weather, their body starts to shut down. That's what causes hibernation, and it stops their blood from flowing, and it just keeps them still. It basically freezes them.
They go dormant.
So you do need a UVA to get their blood going, but the UVB works as the sun's way of
personal or
vitamin
natural
D.
light.
Like it gives them vitamin D. It gives them I think it's almost like calcium. It works like calcium. If you don't have a UVB light, basically your animal will get MBD, which is metabolic bone disease.
Yeah.
And that's basically where their muscles,
their limbs
and their muscles get flimsy, and
they go limp, and it's really sad to see.
Yeah.
Then they just stop eating, they'll starve themselves, and they just stop moving, all in all.
One con.
Another con. This can be money.
They do cost a lot from start.
They're a good starter animal, starter reptile, starter pet, yes. But they do cost quite a bit. In my opinion, if you're gonna get your first reptile, you're gonna want like a Pac-Man frog, a leopard gecko, because they're a lot more cheaper.
Yeah.
Because like, obviously a tank, or just the lighting itself. So say you get like I know they have those double light bulb packs. Those cost around $20. So that's $20 for lighting. Then you're gonna need a dome, or what I have, you can get from like Walmart for $6. So there's another $12, and that's all. So that's around $35 just for lighting.
Yeah, and tanks too. Like if you use a regular aquarium like we're using, it's cheapest you can get is like $50, like you got.
I got my 40-gallon for $50 because it has a little crack in the side and it was returned. But also Petsmart and Petco have that $1 a gallon deal, which is really good if you can buy a tank then. They're just expensive. Them themselves are expensive.
And if you're looking for the tanks like the Exoterras where they open in the front, you're asking to pay a lot.
If you want to go with something cheap, honestly, don't get a bearded dragon. Just don't, because they're not going to be cared for. I'm not going to say they're not going to be cared for properly, but they're not going to almost have what they need as far as space.
Yeah. I highly recommend, for me personally, is leopard geckos to start with, because the most expensive thing is either the tank or the heating pad. The heating pad lasts forever.
It lasts probably 3 years, the Zoom Med heat pad.
Yeah. Another con with leopard geckos is their smell. And this is for all reptiles, really, but their smell, they tend to... their poop tends to smell really bad.
You're going to need to clean up.
Yeah, unless...
Like mine, personally, he's messy. He's very messy.
Yeah, unless you got no nose at all.
Unless you have, like, paper towels, you're going to want to... Like, what I do with my Repticalcium, and I have a 40-gallon tank, and they don't make 40-gallon Repticalcium, so you're going to have to cut and make it to fit your tank. But I usually try to vacuum every 5 days. I want to vacuum it. And then about every 2 to 3 weeks, I'll take the carpet out, clean it, and then put new carpet in. Yeah. But if you're just going to use paper towels and newspaper, it'll be a lot easier. It just looks nicer with Repticalcium, in my opinion.
Yeah, either Repticalcium or moss carpet, but moss carpet tends to get torn up a little bit more.
And it kind of gets in their nails.
Yeah.
If you want to worry about nail filing, you can get like bricks, tile, or sandpaper.
That's another con too. They can, if they are aggressive, they can hurt younger people, I guess. For older, it's gonna pinch if they bite you, for example, or if they claw you. But for kids, I feel like it'd be more serious. But that's also a con too. Be aware that they actually can They can hurt younger children.
That was basically all of our opinions on bearded dragons, personally.
If you like this discussion, let us know in the comments.
We'll do more on other animals.
Yeah, I would like to do more of these discussions on different topics and everything about reptiles and
Just let us know, even non-reptiles, if you'd like to see.
yeah, and I would like to do these discussions just myself. So let us know in the comments what we should discuss about, as well as let us know if you want us to do a care on some other animal. After this video, which I should be uploading like almost right after, is Marcus's Kenyan Sambo. I will be doing a review on.
That'll be good.
So
And then he'll be doing a leopard gecko care video as well with his leopard gecko.
Yep.
So stay tuned for more upcoming videos. We'll be possibly getting more reptiles in the future. We'll be going to more expos, recording that. Even if we don't get anything, we'll still plan on going. And just a rearrangement of the quote-unquote reptile room, even though there's not that many. I want to set up more of a rack type system.
A lot of stuff's coming up.
So just stay tuned, guys. And this is Don't Suppose Reptiles with our personal opinions on bearded dragons and also care for bearded dragons. And we'll catch you next video.